Hello, my name is Ben Gromicko. I'm the producer of this training video, certified master inspector, member of InterNACHI. A while back, I performed a commercial inspection at a dentist office in my local area, and I performed the inspection alone without a third-party expert. Felt confident in doing that. This commercial building was basically a large residential building, except for the parking lots. And what I do is I take a lot of digital pictures. I was a little bit concerned about this creative sidewalk. The offset makes a trip hazard here. Put that in my report, and especially for a wheelchair at that step. And I go around and I take pictures of all of the things that my client might be interested in. A little damage at the curb. And then, just like a residential dwelling, take pictures of the exterior, the parking area, the grading. A little seal coating is needed. Again, trip hazard at the walks. Take pictures of the entry, making sure nothing is settled. The egress steps are okay. There's a door at the egress light. There's a light over the egress door. Light there over the entry. Exterior lighting. The downspouts are diverting water away, except for this one. This was damaged, run over by the lawnmower. Disconnected downspout. A little bit concerned about this grading up against the brick veneer of the commercial building. You can see the slab on grade foundation. There's really no way for water, if it happens to penetrate this veneer, there's no drainage provision. So I'm concerned about that. When I get inside, I'll take a look for water penetration. More dirt up against the foundation. This is the concrete block foundation coated with a tar. These are sewer pipes, clean out pipe. This is a condensate from one of the units on the inside. Remote read for the water meter. Water meter's inside is a remote read for it. Grounding electrode conductor. There's active water draining out of this pipe, and it came from the pressure regulator relief inside the building, so that's a problem. And on the outside, basically a lot of brick, aluminum, steel lintel, looking for any kind of physical damage at the doors and windows, looking at the sealant, the paint surfaces. Just like a residential building, looking for, here's stucco. Some stucco was installed at the entry. No major problems there. Little conduit for the light. The electrical system starting, meter, and the gutter box. Just like a residential dwelling, I'm looking for loose meter housings. The attachment needs to be secured to the siding or in this case, the brick. Gutter box there. Surface rust. And then I hop up on the roof. And the first thing I noticed was the gutter. Filled with debris. Actually filled with granular material from the shingles, and the gutter itself is pulling off the structure and missing shingles. The starter row was in poor shape. So we have a lot of problems with the roof as well. And this commercial building was an asphalt shingle roof and had a lot of missing shingles all around and some structural problems. This is a raised portion of this plane here at the hip. Shingles are not lying flat. Has been patched before with shingles and with some asphalt sealant. At this bumped raised area, shingles are not lying flat, prone to water penetration. And many of these shingles have just simply cracked and blown off, and now you can see the areas for water penetration. Taking lots of pictures, especially for my client. My new client My client will want to know what the condition of the roof is so that they can inform their new landlord and protect themselves. Don't want water damage. Some other components of the roof: flashing around the vent pipes, poor shape. Roof vents, possibly for the bathrooms on the inside. And the shingles themselves are in poor condition. The granular surface is eroding away. The asphalt material is exposed. This roof needs to be replaced and further evaluated. RTUs, or really they're just heat pumps. This is a new unit for the neighbor. This unit and this unit was for the office that I was inspecting. They're old. They turned on. York makes a great label. MFD, manufacturing date 02 is February 1993. Model number, serial number. Electric disconnects for the two units. There's the suction line, large refrigerant line. Suction line is there, insulated. The insulation is in poor condition for both units. Two thermostats and air handlers, which were located above the drop ceiling inside. And there wasn't any water leak catch pan under the units. And the disposable air filters were dirty and clogged. No maintenance log. Delayed maintenance. Needs to be serviced and cleaned. And the ductwork was in poor condition. This was disturbed and torn open. This was loose at the supply register. Very difficult to get around the attic space. Just had to pop the ceiling tiles and look up. This is the other air handler unit. Refrigerant lines. Drainage condensate. Electric shutoff for the coil of the heat pump. Again, no water leak catch pan. Just like a residential unit, I like to have that safety. Should be installed. Disposable air filters are dirty. Going around, taking a look at the ductwork and the insulation and the structure. While looking at the ductwork, and there's a hole. So this is a huge energy loss right there in the ductwork. The structure is truss built. You can identify it by going up, at least sticking up your head up in there. Carry a 6-foot, 8-foot fiberglass ladder to get above the drop ceiling. The structure, looking at the structure, the insulation was in poor condition, disturbed, moved, missing insulation at these drywall areas, missing insulation, exposed water lines in the unconditioned, unheated attic spaces, missing insulation, missing insulation. Here's a pan showing the roof leaking, watermarks. Use your moisture meter if you got it. And then when I came down, looking above my head, walking around the interior at the suspended tiles, watermarks, or fresh paint at the ceiling tiles. And the hot water units, 2 electric, small 12-gallon hot water tanks. And the water line coming in. In the commercial building, it's just like a residential. Water lines coming in through a shutoff valve, water meter, another shutoff valve. But all of this has been blocked. You can't get to it in an emergency if you had to turn off the water. So it really needs to be cleaned up. Get it orderly. There's the leak going outside. And again, the meter's coming in. A couple shutoffs, a couple panels. Do not take off the dead front covers. High voltage, commercial. I had a helper with me. Took off the front. Taking a look at the electrical panels. Just like residential, I'm looking for obvious damage, miswiring, rust, corrosion, melting wires. This is a 14 gauge wire on a 20 amp breaker, so it's overfused. Some more panels. Take a look inside, take lots of pictures. I don't like very much the 5 grounding wires under one lug. And now I'm to the interior. doing the bathrooms, kitchenettes, just like a residential, flushing toilets, running sinks, testing ground faults, looking for leaks, hot and cold water, wondering where the fan is exhausting, and the bathroom fans are exhausting right into the attic space. Kitchenettes, a lot of sinks in a commercial building, used for hand washing or whatever the facility is used for. Just look for hot and cold water. This was a missing fixture, so if you've got the drain pipe, hot and cold water, these rubber fittings aren't really reliable. And this isn't reliable either. Some kind of drainage tube. The clear tube goes into the tailpipe of the sink, and then the sink actually drains into a bucket, and the bucket then drains up. So that's not going to work. Looking for ground faults, missing ground faults at that kitchenette. Maybe an occupancy use violation, but I wasn't really concerned about that. They have electronics right next to a little utility sink, but they weren't using the sink. And in the same room, on the floor, there was a electric outlet lying on the floor with some pipes. And then this was an occupied dentist, so the interior was a little bit hard to walk around. But I'm basically looking for water penetration and physical damage, not really concerned about the equipment. My client wasn't either. So I'm looking at the windows, looking for cracked windows or signs of fogged windows, lost seals, egress doors, testing receptacles. There's frog eyes. And the interior looked okay. Doors, windows, receptacles. And that was about it. Did a commercial inspection at a dentist office a while back. Provided very good information for my client. And if you have any questions, just give me an email. Thanks.